and we'll get into the freedom side of things, but to have 4 kids, I don't know how I would have a real job. That's why I wear this shirt. See, let everybody know I can't have a real job. I got to do this because I have the freedom to live my life and spend time with my kids and do what I want.
Absolutely. How you doing, everybody? We are talking today about the Gateway to Freedom Real Estate Investor Conference, and we have got an incredible video for you today with an incredible guest. Before I introduce him, let me introduce myself. My name is Rich Groves. I'm a real estate investor here in the St. Louis market. I did my first rehab in 2005, and I've been connecting people pretty much ever since. I am excited to be a co-host of Gateway to Freedom with my partner over here who's going to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Josh Wiesler. I'm a small business coach in the St. Louis area, and I actually started in real estate doing all kinds of stuff, anything from wholesaling, rehabbing, project management, worked for a title company for 3 years, was an agent for 4 years. If you could do it in real estate starting out, I've probably tried it out. So yeah, I'm so excited to talk about our conference as well as with our guest today, and I'll throw it back over to Rich.
If you're stuck in a job you hate, or maybe you're an experienced real estate investor, but you feel like you're not able to get any traction and you need that extra oomph, well, Gateway to Freedom is going to give that to you.
Or they're looking in their life when they look for transitions or they look for transformations for something that's just going to give them the answer that's going to solve everything. Is that what this conference is about?
Not at all. You're still going to have to put in the work, but this conference connects people. And you go to Gateway to Freedom, you're going to be connected with a person like our current guest. I'm going to introduce you to Jason LiCavoli, and that's how you say his name. It's LiCavoli.
That's right.
That was
not Jason LiCavoli, not anything like that. It's Jason LiCavoli. All right. Jason is a real estate investor. He's been in the business for over 20 years. He's done everything from rehabs to wholesaling to buy and holds. His current strategy, though, is called short-term rentals arbitrage. And Jason, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Rich. Thank you, Josh. We're having a good time.
Yeah,
That's
man,
right.
Definitely, man. Is there anything that we missed in the intro? Anything else you want people to know about you?
20 years, man. I forget. That's that new math. I think something's wrong there. I don't know. I don't feel that old.
You blinked, and and you've had how many kids in that timeline?
Yeah, I got a gaggle of kids.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And we'll get into the freedom side of things, but to have 4 kids, I don't know how I would have a real job. That's why I wear this shirt. See, let everybody know I can't have a real job. I got to do this because I have the freedom to live my life and spend time with my kids and do what I want.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Now, I mentioned you're in short-term rental arbitrage, right? And that may be a new term for our viewers out there. What is arbitrage?
You know what arbitrage means? Come on. I still don't know if I know what it means. I'll give you my version, not the dictionary version.
Okay.
Right? So a short-term rental, right, is just, Airbnb, VRBO, those are the platforms most people are familiar with. Arbitrage just means I'm taking a unit that I'm renting. I don't own that unit. I'm leasing a unit, whether it's apartment or house or whatever, and then I'm subleasing that as a short-term unit. Yeah. And I got friends that tell me I'm crazy, but then I show them the numbers and they're like, damn, that was a good idea.
That's good crazy.
Well, and this little, pandemic thing happened. And that was a tough time for me in this arbitrage game because my landlord still wants rent.
Right.
And, it was a rough ride to get to where I'm at, but I was able to sustain, and hallelujah for that.
Right.
But the risk factor, when you own a house, if something goes wrong, that's out of your pocket. And so for me, I think I've been doing this 20 years. Why wouldn't I just own it? I just happen to be downtown, these big condos, and it's hard to own down there. HOAs, this and that. So leasing it and then subleasing it was working, and we did it again, and now we have 12 units downtown Walsh Ave. So it's a fun project. Maybe not be for everybody, but anybody can go lease an apartment house or condo or town, whatever, lease a unit and then sublease it by putting the nice little decorations, put some furniture, and put it on as a short-term rental.
That's awesome. And Jason's going to be on our rental properties panel talking about that more in depth and answering your questions about that as well. But before we even get back to that, So you've been in real estate investing for 20 years, over 20 years. When was it? Can you remember what it was that made the light switch go off that said, you know what, I'm going to do this real estate investing thing?
Actually, it's funny. I don't know if I really told this story. I had work for a big tech company and sitting in $1,000 chair and fancy computer and sales guy for video compression software. And this is, 2000 actually. And, this tech bubble thing happened and I lost my job. I had a really great job. I went to St. Louis University, did the right thing, got my degree. I'm going to wear my suit and everything else.
American dream.
My dad was a union carpenter. Said, boy, don't you work, you go to school. And he came to America when he was 13 years old and he loves America. The freedom, and he wanted good things for me. Well, good things is go to school, get a job, and white collar work. And I did that. It was terrible, but I lost my job. That's the good Lord working, right? Okay, lost my job. I'm slinging pizza pies, living in the basement of my parents' house again. Like, what the fuck? I graduated from St. Louis University. I'm supposed to be making it. What is this? But I refuse to go back to corporate America. I'm like, I got to figure something out. So I'm slinging pizza pies. That's what I did to get through college. Yeah. And actually, so through an educational course, life training, I met Marlene and she says, you should do real estate investing. I don't know what that means. And so she connects me with her coach. And I go to a meeting and I learned what real estate investing was. And my dad was a union carpenter and I've been fixing houses my whole life. So I'm like, well, that I can do. And so I started off flipping houses because I'm like, well, that's what. And so my dad and I would just flipped houses and swinging the hammer, doing it old school. And it worked. I made great money. And then I thought, oh, we're going to elevate things. And then the little thing called 2008 happened.
The housing.
Man, those scars never go away. But you live and you learn, and I'm battle tested. I'm ready for whatever. It don't make COVID happen. Don't matter. Boom, we got through it. We're going to make it. And it's about relationships and network and like confidence in yourself, like belief in yourself. And that comes over time. And that's where going and being around people that have that belief, it rubs off on you. Yeah. You can't, it's contagious. And so I enjoy the networking side of real estate investing. I'm a social guy. I love the social aspect. But I call people when I have a problem. I don't go to Google it. I call my friends. And I know people who deal with that situation more than me, and they'll help me, and then I help them. And it's just, it's a great community, I think, especially here in St. Louis. We're kind of spoiled. I don't know. I feel like a lot of love, a lot of help, a lot of that. So, and when it's non-competitive, when you take that approach, it changes the whole definition of real estate investing.
Collaboration, man. You're huge on that.
I love it. I would rather win every time than just win by myself. What am I, the king? That's lonely.
Right.
It's better to be with a community of people. And sometimes the new guy can be the hero. You know what I'm saying? Like when Aunt Sally passes and he didn't know who to call, but his friend told him he went to a meeting. I mean, how many times does that happen every year? So like every connection, you never know what it might lead to.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't matter if you go to a monthly meetup or you go to a big conference like this. You never know if you're going to meet your next partner.
Absolutely.
On a deal.
And sometimes it's just that one guy that can, and it's like knowing that person that knows other people, right? Everybody knows somebody you don't know. Right. And I'm a people guy, so I think people solve problems. Money can solve problems, but people can solve problems way easier than money can solve problems.
100% agree with that. You mentioned a couple of things. The confidence part, which I know you have. You got a ton of confidence. I love it. I do. I absolutely love it. And you mentioned that, you had a mentor, that you got a mentor. But when you started out, were there any fears, or what fears did you have? I know you've got confidence, but what fears did you have getting started in this business?
As pretty as I look now, I was not this confident back then. Earned. You got to earn that.
That's right.
No, it's weird how I started young, right? Like it was 2003, so I'm like 27,
right?
And so when you're 27, and again, I'm slinging pizza pie. What I got to lose? I'm slinging pizza pies, living in my parents' basement. I got a degree. It's sitting on the wall. Like, that's supposed to give me money. And, but again, I didn't like the corporate lifestyle. So, having somebody who's been through it, and again, I don't know if we talk about names and stuff, but it wasn't just one person. It was that coach to be there always, like holding your hand, but then having a group of people. And then seeing that dude did it, and I'm just saying, this is facts. Yeah. Oh, that guy could do it. I could do it. I think I'm a great example of that.
Right.
In the real estate world, when people see my clowning butt out here just having a good time, I'm wearing flip-flops right now. I'm wearing the shoes that are unemployable. You don't have to just drive a Ferrari and be a millionaire. But the confidence, like, it comes over time when you've been through stuff. And like, again, I'm battle tested. I'm not fearless, but like, I know I'll get through it no matter what the challenge is, because I've done it 100 times. I mean, I've flipped over 100 houses. When you flipped 100 houses, you've seen some things. And I'm talking about Jefferson County septics and, wells and like unique tree problem, just stuff, right? And then city, historic areas, and really like specific problems. So like the full range, and I'm flipping St. Charles, North County, wherever. I'm in Illinois, which I don't do that anymore. But I would just do it for the challenge. So I've done a lot of things, and I've owned a finance, like I've been the buyer, I've been the seller.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it don't work. And I've learned a whole lot about how to structure contracts just by doing it. Now, what I'll tell you is I've made 100 mistakes, but I've heard 1,000 mistakes in these rooms. And I used to go to a lot of networking stuff, and I would just ask I want to hear your struggles. Don't just tell me how much money you make. Tell me how you overcame a challenge so that I can learn from it. And man, when those speakers are up there doing that, some of them are just selling stuff. That's how it goes. I get it. But some of them are up there spitting gold. Yeah. And if you pick up them nuggets, game changer.
Right.
And the people you meet in that room, I'm a social guy, so it's easy for me. But even if you're not, just like familiar faces. I would, if I met somebody at one of your events and they asked me to help, I feel like, I met them with these guys and they're good people,
Yeah.
And they were there. Like if you're listening to this right now, you are on the journey. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nowhere to get to. A lot of people are like, I'm gonna be a real estate investor. You can be that right now.
Right.
And YouTube University, press play, and you already in education mode.
That's right. Yeah.
So like there's information out there, and that's the other part. What do you call it? Analysis paralysis. That kills most people. I'm lucky I started so young. I was so stupid. I just go.
Didn't know what you didn't know.
And thank God I didn't, because I see some older people like they got more to lose. And again, for me, I could start over. I'd be at 0 and I got no qualms. I'm going to be a survivor.
Right.
Because I've done it for too long, too many ways. And when a new challenge arises, which I think we're heading into all new opportunities, I'm excited about the future. The notes are going to be worth more than the house. I've been preaching that for a while, and we're finally there. The note that you take over people's notes is worth more than the house. What's the value of the house? X. Well, with the note attached to it at 3.9% interest rate, and I take over, how much more is that worth now in today's market? So it's just a lot of that's how my brain thinks. I don't go, I'm looking for my next flip, or I'm looking for my next Airbnb. No, I'm just looking for an opportunity. And then I figure out what's the best exit strategy. And if it's in the Illinois house, I call my Illinois friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if it's a short sale, I got short sale friends. And I got, these are not my expertise,
Right.
Yeah. Wholesaling, that's always easy, flipping contracts and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But always knowing the end buyer, this make a great rental. Sometimes they make a great short-term rental.
Right.
Almost anything could be short-term rental. It just, depends on how much headaches you want.
I mean, you said almost anything could be a short-term rental. I mean, even caves or something. I heard.
Yeah, you can buy a cave and just turn it into an Airbnb. I say Airbnb because that's like calling a Kleenex a facial tissue. Kleenex just makes people understand it better.
Yeah. Right.
But so I bought this cave property, and that's what I think. Like the confidence I have now is like I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah. What a challenge. You know what I mean? And trust me when I tell you, the challenges were way more than I thought. I thought I'd just be facing cave issues. Now I'm facing new city issues. You know what I mean? Like we're in uncharted territory. So we're going to figure this out together. Right. And that's time. It takes time. It costs money. But once you do it and you blaze that trail, it's, I don't know. So I'm having fun. And that project is going to be the never ending project for me. And it'll evolve. We'll see what happens.
Tell our viewers what it's called.
So it's called Caveland, and it was a roller skating rink in the 50s, and then it turned into a music venue. And Little Bitty Festus in the 60s and 70s had like Tina Turner and Ted Nugent and Bob Seger and Charlie Daniels Band, like big artists played inside the cave. And I can just imagine Ted Nugent wailing on the guitar in this place because the reverb and the sound is just, and like it's a 15,000 square foot or, a hole in the earth with 40-foot ceilings, and it's just a unique property. And then for some crazy cats in the 50s turned into a roller skating rink, who does that?
Right.
And then this crazy old hippie buys it on eBay and turns it into his house, lives there for 20 years.
Yeah, and just for the visual, it is literally a cave in the side of a cliff.
It's just a hole in the earth.
Yeah.
And they built a wall and built the house inside.
Right.
It's a trip. Right. And real estate friends.
Yeah.
It's on public sewer, public water. I can have Emo's Pizza delivered to my front door. You invest this school district, which is a decent school district. I mean, and you in a cave. You're in the middle of a subdivision. It's a unicorn property. I've looked at a lot of property.
Yeah.
It's a unicorn property.
That's the cool thing. Is like you're driving. When we went over that first time, we're driving around like this subdivision. It's like,
You're like, we're about to be at a cave.
I was like,
GPS says you're 1
right,
minute away.
right.
You're
It's like, no
there's
way. And then bam, there it is. It's
and
like,
I'm 5 minutes off the highway. It's just so, like I said, it's just, and I've done a lot of, I've invested in weird property. I like weird stuff.
You got the graffiti loft still? Correct?
Yeah, over in Soulard, my graffiti loft. I mean, that's more a decoration type thing, but
it's an artistic
I call it a flex space. And so like taking the pandemic, I keep saying the pandemic thing happened. And I had to get creative, right? Yeah. So I took on some beds, add some tables, and call it a party space. So you can have a private party in my Airbnb, which Airbnb doesn't allow parties, but VRBO does. So you can have up to 50 guests in my property. It's worth way more doing that.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like the little ladies on the main street and it's residential, and then somebody buys it and gets it rezoned to commercial, and then it's worth 75% more than it was just by rezoning it. That's kind of what repurposing a property can do as a short-term rental.
Okay.
So downtown Wash Ave, not to get into politics, but you know, not everybody wants to live there. But everybody visiting St. Louis, you walk to the Blues game, you walk to I'm in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
From St. Louis, don't want to live there.
Right.
But sublease it, do the arbitrage, phenomenal. It's been working really well.
That's awesome.
I've been down there for 6 years.
That's awesome. So we're gonna move on to Josh. Got a couple questions for you, but I mean, just amazing to hear. Like you said, you felt like you had nothing to lose. You were just gonna go for it. So when you overcame those fears, what little fears you had?
It's funny because I'm talking like a gangster now because I remember that part of things. But think about this. My dad, who sacrificed a ton to send me to college,
right?
All of a sudden, you're gonna go flip houses. Anybody can do that. He's got like, anybody do that. You went to school? What's the matter with you? And again, when I started, I'm swinging the hammer because I want to optimize my profit.
Yeah.
And when you do the work, and I'm the contractor, the GC too. Oh man, and I'm the paperwork guy, I'm the marketing, and the accountant, and the right. So I didn't have fear. Like I didn't have much to lose. Right. But I did have I'm taking this leap of faith and I'm trying this thing that was going against the grain. That was not the plan.
Right.
So that fear was really real. But then that's the ultimate motivator. Right. If you got haters and they're saying you're going to fail, sometimes you do it just to show them,
spite.
And that could be a great motivator, right?
Yeah,
and if your wife tells you, I wasn't married at the time, but if my wife told me you shouldn't do it, I might back down and go, you're right. Or I might go, nope. Now I got something to prove.
Right.
So, and everybody's different. Everybody's fuel is different.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I knew corporate America was not for me. And I saw when I went to that event, I saw cats smiling a lot, everybody having fun. I'm a people person. So I like to if I'm picking up a vibe, if you go to the concert, everybody's having a good time.
Yeah. Right.
I'm in this room like, whoa, this is not like staunchy business. It's like, and these guys are, cashing $10,000 checks. I mean, at the time, you got $10,000 check. I'm listening.
That's right.
How do you do that?
Shoot, back then, people would listen for a $10,000 check today.
Well, bro, my first flip, I'll never forget it. I'm swinging the hammer. And I learned a lot about accounting because when you do the work, still you got to pay yourself for work. Right. It's not all profit, right?
Right.
So needless to say, I made $17,000 and I split it with my coach 50-50.
Nice.
Now, at the time, I thought, who the hell is this guy to get half this money? He didn't come over here and sweat his butt off. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here.
Right.
And looking back, it was like, that was the best money I ever spent.
Yeah.
Because the confidence I had coming out of there. Now, I don't need that guy no more.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yep.
I learned a lot from that. It was the best education I could have ever. And it was no money up front. Think about that.
Right.
You're going to split I think there was a little coaching fee. I'm saying he was willing to take his profit on the back end. To me, that was a great risk for him. I mean, looking back, but he was doing it on such a bigger scale, and he had, I bought the property he brought to me, and again, in the beginning, I thought, wait a minute, I should have made all that money, but now I know that he deserved to get that money. And 20 years later, how much was that worth to me?
Right.
Every penny. Yeah.
Yep. So with that, you kind of touched on a couple different things here. And for us, one of the questions that we've got is, and you mentioned it a couple different times through your own experience as well as other people, what mistake did you make or that you've seen that you want new investors to avoid?
One mistake new investors to avoid. Man, That's a tough one. Because a mistake is like,
Or mistakes.
Like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, like, man, that's tough. Because so the first thing I think of is not to use your own money. Because when you use your own money, you don't realize there's no filter. Like, I'm just saying, some people have access. So you're going to buy your little $50,000 house and put 50 into it and sell it for 150. It's just rough numbers. It kind of, and you're like, oh, I'm going to kill it. Now you write a check for 50 grand out of your 401k or whatever. I've seen it. It's really sad. Now you buy the house and I've seen it. Oh my God. And then major problems.
Yep. Can of worms.
And you bought a house so cheap. Why'd you get that deal? Who do you think you are? I mean, why did every other investor pass? I mean, just like, come on, dude, you're better than that. And I don't know. It's sad because I'm a compassionate person, but sometimes you gotta give him a little slap and be like, wake up. Is that normal? So now you got termite damage and foundation issues and stuff, right? So now you write the next check for 50 grand and now you're writing more. And then now you lost money. I always tell people 1 out of your first 10 is probably not going to go good. Some people it's the first one and then they go away.
Yeah, they quit.
Some people it's the 10th one and they didn't even feel it because they were just killing it. Everybody's journey is so different. And like, again, for me, I'm talking like a gangster. I got it all under control. But I mean, I've been through it's cash flow, right? Ebbs and flows. And like, there ain't no paycheck on Friday. In the real estate world, it's just different. And when the roof leaks on one house, I mean, I've had multiple properties all the time. I always have a lot going on. And so like the country property, it's 30 minutes away and now something happened, but I got appointments. And so that's where you have to have people that you can rely on. I have to. I've come to know that I'm only as good as the people I surround myself with and the people that I contract through. You know, I'm only one dude. And if you're trying to grow, I tried to be one man show. It don't work. At least it don't work if you want to scale up and have more. Yeah. You can be a one man crew. You can swing the hammer and still make money. That's what's great about real estate investing. You could just do arbitrage and just make some money and you're not going to kill it. I don't know that it's a full-time income, but it's a great side hustle. You'll learn a ton and it's a great way to get started for some people. So
you were actually in attendance last year at our inaugural Gateway to Freedom conference.
It was awesome, by the way.
Well, appreciate that. It kind of goes into that. Can you tell our audience like what your experience was, what you picked up, and then like now you're speaking on a stage in a panel with us this year, just kind of how the experience was last year and what you're expecting to get out of this year.
And not that I'm just, you guys are my friends. Yeah, so but I want to tell you for real, like I didn't know what to expect because you're doing it for the first time.
Right.
And I've done a lot of events and I know what it takes to do an event. Holy cow. It's like chaos. And then you think you have time and then there's no time. Right. So what I'm saying is it was way more polished than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not saying, I'm telling you, like you just had a lot of details that were just really classy and really good. And the content, like I learned more about Section 8
from Jen.
I was like, man, I'm being in the audience, right? And just being there to take it in. I learned a lot about the new things because I've done Section 8. I'm an old man now. I've done it.
Gangster.
Back in my day. But there's a lot of like online tools and things I just didn't know. And I was like, whoa, that makes Section 8 so much better. And when people ask me, I'm like, I'm not your resource for that. You want to get Section 8, like go to these events and you'll meet somebody who is. And learn more about it because then you go, oh, that sounds like something I want to do. Like you don't know maybe what you want to do specifically. Like people say, I want to be a real estate investor. I'm like, define that. Because that's such it's a 50 shades of gray. You know what I mean? And so in my definition, again, used to be flipping houses. That's what I thought a real estate investor was. You buy the house cheap, you fix it up, you sell it, and that's real estate investing. Oh, you could be a landlord. Those are two options. And now it's like, dude, there's 20 different ways and 20 sub ways under those 20 ways. I love the creativity. I'm a creative guy that real estate investing allows me to have, So when I'm in your event, I'm very impressed with the caliber of speakers, the room, just everything about the way you did it was very good. When I'm in the audience, I don't know, I'm a people person. And the excitement level of the people when you're out in the hallway, I'm just saying, that's the real talk. And I didn't hear negative stuff. I heard excitement. I heard people sharing what they learned. And to me, that's where the magic happens. I go to Real Club meetings and again, you sit through the speaker sometimes and not your thing. But then you're able to like network and talk to people and build relationships. So when I was at your event, I still talk to some people that I'd never met before. And I met them at your event. Like that's the power of this event.
That's
Right.
fantastic.
And that says a lot from a guy like
That's
been in
what
the
I'm
game
saying.
for
I've been
20
doing this
years.
for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's not like you hide. You go out to events.
Yeah.
You
I
see
try to
people
go
all the
to
time.
events all the time. But there were so many people in the room.
Yep.
And I met some people who were dealing with some of the same issues, and I had some referrals for them, and they had referrals for me.
Yeah.
So and again, I probably talked to 30 people, and then 2 people were like, "Ooh, I came here to meet you." See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so
made the connection. That's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
No, I love that. That's phenomenal. And I kind of expected that kind of energy from you with your experience and just knowing you, man. It's phenomenal. And this is the big question that we ask everybody, all of our speakers, because this for us also means something different to everyone. And you kind of touched on it. What does freedom mean to you?
Because that is a great question, right? And I used to think that like the money would give you the freedom, right? Like, oh, if I have enough money, that I can pay everything, and I could, like being able to, like I coach my son's football. I'm on the board. I do my Cruise and Limburg stuff. I get to do cave parties and do weird. I get to have fun, and I get the freedom. I have 4 kids, and I'm busy. I got 3 businesses. Like I'm busy, but like to me, real estate investing, like I have property that just spits money out, autopilot. I can't imagine my life without autopilot money. I feel bad for people who don't have that.
Yeah.
If you knew what residual income and you know how equity works in property, and I don't know the time value of money. If people understood that one thing, that's why I say don't use your own money, because a lot of people don't. They don't. A year later, you sold the house.
Right.
Well, you could have done something else with your money, and your money could have been making you money. You got to put that on your line item you got to put soft costs on all your holding, because everybody 86 is that. Oh, electric and shit. I got to pay that. Yeah. And when you don't get your stuff done because your contractor's screwing you, and this guy reschedules, and the rain and all the stuff, everybody's a spreadsheet millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like on the spreadsheet. In 3 years, if I just do this.
Oh yeah.
And I remember before 08, I was a spreadsheet millionaire. Right. And I already knew. Like, look, we just do a couple more things. Bam. That was it. Right. And then I got my ass handed to me. Yeah. And it took 3 years to get out of that hole.
If everything lines up perfectly.
So for me, the freedom, I got kids, and that's my world. Yeah. I like to be able to just, like today, I'm wearing flip-flops and an unemployable t-shirt, and I'm hanging out with you guys, but I'm going to coach some football, and I'll probably meet up with some people later, and just having a flexible schedule, but being able to make the money that it takes to live the lifestyle that I choose. Like I said, I would love a Ferrari. They're great cars. Yeah. I don't want to do what it takes to have the Ferrari, because I'd rather have my freedom.
It's a choice.
And freedom is defined differently for everybody. We just got back from the lake. Like I'd like to be able to go to the lake. If I had a big operation with multiple people, it's like going on vacation. I could just go tomorrow and just go on vacation. Right. I got nobody. I got no boss. I got nobody. Shit's just going to keep rolling just like it was. Right. I got my phone. We can handle any problem. Money fixes a lot of things. And then I can call friends if I needed something. So having the freedom to just choose every day what my day consists of and what my goals are, and nobody to tell me how it's supposed to be or that I need to achieve something. That's the best. That's what freedom means to me.
If you're out there listening to Jason and people like hearing what you had to say, how can people reach out to you on social medias or get a hold of you?
I'm on the Facebook because I'm old. Like everybody like, oh, Instagram and this and that. I'm on the Facebook. I drive a big Boss Hog Cadillac. So if you catch me out, I'm easy to spot.
That's what we created this conference for, is really about building the relationships and really about just being in an arena where everybody has the same goals, not necessarily the same specifics, but they all have that growth mindset and they all want to do something bigger than themselves.
And I just want to say, I love what you guys do. Your energy, your vibe, your way of thinking comes through at the event. So like if anybody, and I don't want to be like plug, but if anybody's thinking about coming and wondering what it's going to be like, just know that you're going to be loved and nurtured and like a lot of positive vibes, not judgment, not Shark Tank, like rough.
We're not selling.
It's more like we're all learning together. We're growing together. Yeah. It's 2024, baby. Things are changing.
If you want to learn more from people like Jason, Jason's going to be at the event, and we got 30 plus other speakers at Gateway to Freedom this October 17th, 18th, and 19th, right here in St. Louis. If you want to get in a position to learn from people like that, to help your real estate investing business, to get you involved in real estate investing, you've got to go to www.g2free.com. That's g2free.com. Get your tickets today, because right now is the cheapest those tickets are ever going to be. If you go out in a couple of weeks, it's going to be higher. So get out and get your tickets today. And I want to thank you, Jason, for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the event.
Yeah. As always, we go way back and we're friends, but I appreciate you having me on this event.
Absolutely.
I'm excited about all those speakers. I know a lot of them, and they're really good at each one of their niches. So I'm excited to speak, but I'm also excited to be there.
It's going to be better because you are a part of it this year, man.
Thank you, brother. All right. I like that.
So go on g2free.com, get your tickets. And then if you can't wait to meet people like Jason and our other speakers before the event, there is a list of St. Louis Real Estate Investor Associations, a RIA list that is on the link. You click the button, enter your email, and we will send you out that list. And then you can go out and pre-meet these speakers and these people in your community and your network to be prepared to fully take advantage of this conference. Our contact information will be in the show notes, as well as, again, go to free.com and get your tickets and your RIA list.